can't believe they actually lost that one. I'm actually shocked. I mean, like, genuinely, I'm not joking. I'm actually shocked they lost that one. I thought Duran was going to come in and be automatic, but I guess Duran showed tonight that he's human. That he's human. And maybe a little bit of unluckiness on that part. 0-2 pitch that just gets poked in the right field for a double. And then the other one was a pitch that got hit in the left field, and a better throw by Brandon Marsh probably gets the runner out at home. And then you get a very bad throw by JT Realmuto over the third base to try to get the runner stealing, which probably JT should not have thrown, and just trust your pitcher to get the next two guys out. And all that turns around into a very gut-wrenching first game loss here to the Washington Nationals. Is you had to lose like that, and then the bottom of the ninth inning, no fight back really. Bryson Stott pops up on the first pitch. Trey Turner strikes out. Kyle Schwarber lines out on the first pitch. Well, Bryson Stott didn't pop up on the first pitch. He battled a little bit, but still popped up on a hanger, basically. Trey Turner's at bat was ugly. Kyle Schwarber swung at the first pitch. It's just, you had to go down like that to this Nationals team, to this very bad Washington Nationals team. And I know people are going to give them credit because their lineup is very feisty. They don't quit. They're very annoying. And yes, the Washington Nationals, their fucking lineup is very annoying. That is the only thing that I will give them. But you should be demolishing their pitching. And I will give a little bit of blame, but you still put yourself in a position to win this game. You had a 4-3 lead in the ninth inning with your closer. That is the goddamn problem. You were in a position to win this game after Taijuan Walker had a very bad top of the first inning where he allowed a 3-run home run. He did settle into the ball game and keep you involved, and basically your bullpen your bullpen kept you involved for the most part and did your job besides Duran. Banks did his job. Strom did his job. Alvarado got a little bit sketchy. Same thing with Strom with a leadoff double, but they got their job. But the offense did have chances early in the ballgame to contribute. Then Bryson Stott ties the game with a 2-run shot. JT with the go-ahead solo shot, which got everybody in their feels, and then you just thought it was going to be automatic with Duran coming into the ballgame, and it just wasn't for some reason. I don't know why. And like I said, I guess that just proves Duran's human, but there's also a little bit of unluckiness in that inning because JT should not have thrown that ball to third base. He just should have let the runner get third, allow Duran to get out of the inning, possibly tied, and then honestly a better throw by Brandon Marsh probably gets Cruz out at second at home plate probably, because the throw was there in my personal opinion. It was there on time. It just wasn't properly placed. I think a better throw by Marsh gets Cruz out, most likely. But then you could also argue, well, why don't you just throw to second base instead of, allow the run to score, throw the runner to second base to keep him at first base or something like that. Yeah, there's definitely arguments there, but this is an annoying loss. This is a very annoying loss to where now you have to win the next two games in this series, where you should have won this one, and then you only have to worry about winning one of the next two. Now you need to win the next two, and Aaron Nola is on the mound tomorrow, where you do not know what you're going to get from Aaron Nola, and that's what scares me. That's what scares me a lot. You had to win this series, especially with the stretch with Washington and the Mets upcoming, especially in Citi Field. You needed to win both of these series. Even though you still can win both of these series, I'm not saying that they can't. You would have put yourself in a much better position to win this series if you got the job done tonight, which you should have, because you put yourself in that position to win the game. Sadly, Duran was human, and I just didn't like their fight back, the lack of fight back, actually, in that bottom of the ninth inning. I know you could say it happens. I know you could say it's baseball, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like we're coming off of such a feel-good series sweep with the way that they were swinging the bats against the Seattle Mariners, and then you just come into today where, yeah, the bats, they had their chances. They didn't cash in on everything, but they were still opportunistic in those parts, like with the Stott 2-run shot, like with JT's home run. And you just thought, okay, they're going to find a way to fight and claw and battle and win this game. And then the Duran crap happened. That's what bothers me. You can't lose a game like that. Now, do I worry about Duran the Red? No. No, and Duran will be fine. Duran will be absolutely fine. Maybe it's a little bit of karmic payback for the fan base begging for NBC Sports Philadelphia to constantly show his entrance on every broadcast. Maybe that's karmic retribution. Maybe that's the fact. Maybe that could be the case. I'm not entirely sure, but there's definitely some karmic thing right there with the fan base begging or basically just, you know, basically peer pressuring NBC Sports Philadelphia to always show the entrance. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe that's the reason why. But this definitely was an annoying game. It definitely was an annoying game, no doubt about it. 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. You had 8 hits today. You struggled against Cavalli once again, but you did manage to tie the game up against him. Taijuan Walker, a very bad top of the first inning, but he did settle into the game, and basically, I know it's not quality start, but he still kept you involved. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 79 pitches. Banks did his job, Alvarado did his job, Strom did his job, and it's just Duran did not. And granted, there was a little bit of unluckiness there. 2 runs allowed, one of those was unearned because of the JT throwing error. And if you go through the entirety of the game, you get those 3 runs from the Washington Nationals on the top of the first, a leadoff walk to James Wood. He does get picked off, but then Abrams singles, Bell walks, and then Adams hits the 3-run shot. What else? Garcia, he gets out of that inning. Bottom of the first inning, you had a chance to, put some runs on the board. Schwarber with a walk. JT gets hit by a pitch. Boom, which should have been an error to give it an infield single. So you have bases loaded for Brandon Marsh. He flies out. Top second inning is a 1-2-3 for Taijuan Walker. Bottom second inning, Castellanos with a leadoff single. Bryson Stott with a single. Trey Turner grounds into a fielder's choice, which does get the run home. It's a 3-1 ball game. Schwarber then walks, then Bryce strikes out looking. Bottom 3, you go down 1-2-3. Bottom 4, Castellanos with a leadoff single. Nothing happens there. Bottom 5, Harper with a 1-out single. Nothing happens. Bottom 6, you get the double by Castellanos. Then you get the Bryson Stott 2-run shot to tie the ball game up, which was very electric. Bottom 7, you get JT Realmuto's solo shot to give you the lead. Bottom 8, you go down 1-2-3. Then top 9, you get Garcia the strikeout on 3 pitches. You had Cruz up at an 0-2 count. He literally just poked the ball, and it just found the perfect spot of the infield to go all the way to, in a position where he can get 2 bases. And maybe that's also coming back to haunt you, that maybe not defensively replacing Castellanos came back to bite you there. Maybe a right fielder that's faster, maybe gets to that ball quicker, prevents the double from happening. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's more of a nitpick. But then you get the Lyle single, scores the run, then he eventually gets to second base on the throw, then he scores on the JT throwing error, and then Duran strikes out the next 2 batters. So it's just like, that throw can't happen. Trust your pitcher to get the next 2 guys out without allowing the run to score, and you keep the game tied. But then you get Stott popping up in the bottom of the 9th. Trey Turner strikes out, and then Schwarber lines out on the first pitch. This was just a very frustrating game. It was a very frustrating game, which would have been perfectly fine if you won. If you just won. And it also doesn't help because the Mets, I believe, are crushing the Braves. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, they're winning 12-2. So you went up into this game, 7 games above the Mets? It'll be go down to 6 games after tonight. You got to win these next 2 games. It's just mandatory. It is just mandatory. Trey Turner had a bad day to the plate, 0-for-5 with an RBI, 3 strikeouts. Kyle Schwarber 0-for-3 with 2 walks. Bryce Harper 1-for-4 with 2 strikeouts. JT 1-for-3 with an RBI on the solo shot. He also got hit by a pitch. Alec Bohm 1-for-4. Marsh 0-for-4. Nick Castellanos and Bryson Stott were your best hitters today. Castellanos, surprisingly. Castellanos 3-for-4 with a double. Kepler 0-for-3. Bader came in, went 0-for-1. Stott 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a 2-run shot. You went 2-for-6 with runners in scoring position. Harper had a chance. Kepler had a chance. Turner had a chance. He did bring home a run, technically, but it doesn't count as a hit. Marsh went 0-for-1. Bohm went 1-for-1, but that should have been an error. Didn't score a run, obviously. Then Stott 1-for-1 with his 2-run shot. It's just very annoying. Very annoying. The fucking Washington Nationals are the fucking new Miami Marlins. That's just the feeling that I get from watching this goddamn game. The Nationals are the Marlins. They're fucking annoying. They don't fucking go away. And they kept saying on the broadcast, "Oh, the Washington Nationals, they've scored." I think they said that they've scored the most runs in the 9th inning this season by any team in the Major League Baseball. I'm just like, great. But I still thought Duran was just going to get the job done, ho hum. But no, apparently, because fucking luck has to work on the National side tonight. It's annoying. So annoying. Like this Lyle guy, Dylan Lyle, who the fuck is he getting all these hits, batting .259 this year? He's 22 years old. Thinking like he fucking owns the place. Dylan Cruz, who's been sucking against the Phillies, he gets fucking 2 hits denied. What? What? Why are we struggling against Cavalli? Why are we struggling against Cavalli? I don't care that his numbers is a 2 with a 2 ERA. He had like a 5 ERA in the minor leagues. Why are we struggling against this guy? Come on, like why? Why is it this difficult? Why is it this difficult to just go on a winning stretch of like 5 wins in a row? Why does it have to stop at 4 games? It's annoying. It's so annoying. This Nationals team is fucking a pain in my fucking ass. They suck. They suck. They should suck. The record like showcases that they suck. They're 53-75, but for some reason they don't play like that. Their offense at least doesn't. Ugh. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Noel's on the mound tomorrow. That scares me. And that scares me. Who's on the mound for the Nationals? Mitchell Parker. He was the guy that pitched on Sunday. And the Phillies scored a bunch of runs off of him. So you better do the same exact fucking thing like you did on Sunday. But the thing is, Aaron Nola can't do exactly what he did on Sunday. Phillies can't give him a 6-0 lead, and then he coughs that up immediately. You know, we need good Aaron Nola tomorrow, and we need the offense to fucking pound Mitchell Parker's badass. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Then Sunday is Ranger Suarez against Jake Earthen, who's also bad. Who was also bad. 8-8 with a 5.30 ERA. 8-8 with a 5.30 ERA. The only thing that I will give the Nationals credit for is because I looked at stats earlier in the game and just team stats in general. The Nationals don't strike out. The Nationals don't strike out. That is the only thing that I'll give them credit for. They've struck out, according to Major League Baseball, they have struck out the 6th fewest times. Now, granted, I doubt this is updated on ESPN, but they've struck out the 6th fewest times in baseball. They were 999 coming into this game. Now, granted, how many times did they strike out in this game? It had to have been at least 5. I would say they struck out 8. They struck out 9 times. They struck out 9 times, so now it's 1,008 that they've struck out. So they would be tied with the Brewers for 7th. Still, point stands. They don't strike out. Teams that are ahead of them: the Marlins, the Cubs, the Padres, the Royals, and the Blue Jays. Phillies are actually 11th on this list. They're the 11th team that strikes at the fewest. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Even though the Phillies only struck out 10 times today. So both teams struck out a lot. It's very frustrating. To where you think you had the game in the bag now with your closer coming out. Nope, he's human. He is human. He is human. Rob Thompson on Duran'S blown save. Mariano had 80 of them, so it's going to happen every once in a while. I mean, like, yeah, it's... Duran was going to blow a save at some point. It was going to happen. Like, Duran's not perfect. He's a fantastic pitcher. He's not going to be perfect. Like, that's why you never see seasons like Brad Lidge. Like, Brad Lidge's perfect season in 2008 is fucking rare as shit. You never see that in Major League Baseball. For pitchers that are good as, closers that are as good as Duran is, they're still not going to go perfect. They're going to blow a save every once in a while. It just sucks. Why does it have to be to the Nationals? Why do you got to blow a save to the Nationals? That's annoying. That's annoying. It's annoying. Why does it have to be to the Nationals? Why does it have to be to this bad team? Why did the Nationals have to be the most annoying team to fucking play against? What? Why? Why did they have to be the most annoying team to play against? Like, I thanked you, Nationals, for embarrassing the Mets. Can you just, like, fucking give us a fucking bone? And just be bad like you're supposed to? Because you are a bad team? Seriously. You are a bad team. Act like it. No, but their fucking lineup doesn't want to be like that. But for some reason, no, they're pitching. They can't hit their fucking pitching. I'm fucking salty, okay? Like, this game annoys me. This loss annoys me. Like, why do you have to lose like that? The fucking Nationals. It annoys me, man. So annoying. Just trying to see if there's anything else. I don't think there's much. Why? Why the Nationals? Why the Nationals? I just don't understand it. Why the Nationals? Why do they have to be so fucking annoying? Can't they just go down like they're supposed to? No. Gotta keep fighting because they're a young, pesky team. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, fucking shit. You're a bad team. Lose like you're supposed to. Also, JT Realmuto, don't throw that throw to third base. It was a bad throw. It was like it's a fucking rare error by JT too. That's also the annoying thing. Just like everything had to like combine into one, like into one. Duran blowing the save. Of course, like seriously, I see the comment right here from Brandon. Once it was 0-2 to Cruz, I thought this game was going to be over. That's what I thought too. I thought Duran was going to strike him out. It's just Cruz just literally fucking poked it, and it goes into a perfect spot. People said, "Oh, that's baseball." I'm like, "Oh, that's bullshit." As you can tell, I am very salty. I am very salty. They better not lose this series, because if they lose this series, I'm going to be very mad. I'm going to be very mad. I need a good performance from Aaron Nola tomorrow, and that's what scares me. As much as I'm an Aaron Nola's-man, I don't know what we're getting from Aaron Nola. I just don't think he's going to figure it out this year. That's what scares me. That's what scares me. Like, you have this fantastic series against Seattle, where we all think, okay, after the whole Zach Wheeler thing, we all think you're rejuvenizing yourself, you're all coming together as one, playing all as one for Zach Wheeler, who's going through this very difficult time with the blood clot and everything like that. Understanding got the blood clot removed, and they did have a positive update on Zach Wheeler today. Like, they're still just, waiting to see on a full update and stuff, but he is feeling good. And you're just gonna go on this stretch, you're gonna play great baseball, you're gonna take care of business, and you fucking dominated the fucking Seattle Mariners. You fucking hit them all over the fucking place. Then once the fucking Washington Nationals get into town, nope. Nope. The Nationals are the fucking kryptonite, apparently. Like I said, they're the fucking Marlins now. They are the Marlins. They're annoying. They are annoying to play against. Still bad, though, and you should be beating them. I don't care if they're annoying. I can say that they're annoying. You gotta beat them. Annoying, man. So annoying. Fucking annoying. And after JT has that big home run, too, he has the fucking air. And it's just everything, man. Everything. Everything. I understand. It happens. It's baseball. Crazy shit happens over 162. But why does it always feel like the crazy shit happens to the Phillies? I know I'm playing woe is me and all that crap, but I'm annoyed. I'm just annoyed. After JT Realmuto's solo shot, I thought this game was over. I thought they were going to win. I thought wrong. I thought wrong. Yep, Mets are winning 12-2 in the bottom of the 8th, so yeah, it's going to be a 6-game lead after tonight. That's why even though I wasn't getting too cocky, I did see there was a lot of Phillies people getting very cocky after that series sweep against Seattle. And with the way that the Mets were playing, I understand the Mets are not. I know they're winning tonight, so. But the Mets overall have not been playing good. And they do have that explosive game every once in a while. The Mets do. It's just. They can't beat bad teams. I don't know what to tell you. It is a pattern now. They can't beat bad teams for some reason. They play down to their competition. That is a pattern with this team right now. This year. Usually they take care of business against the terrible teams. Normally. Like, yeah, they lost a series to fucking the White Sox. They got swept in Pittsburgh. They lost a series to the Angels. What else? Let's go to the first half. I just want to see any patterns here. Losing a series in San Francisco. Get it. Yeah, getting swept in Pittsburgh. Then before that, they won a series against the Athletics. They swept Colorado. They swept Pittsburgh at home. They beat Cleveland. They beat Arizona in a series. They won a series against Washington earlier in the year. Won a split against San Francisco. Won a series against Miami. Lost a series of the Mets. Swept Colorado. Won the opening series against Washington. So it's just like all of a sudden they just can't beat bad teams. All of a sudden they cannot beat bad teams. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane. But then they sweep teams like Texas. They sweep teams like Seattle. And then they win a series against Detroit. They win series against Boston and the Yankees. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So it's like they play down to their competition and they play good against good competition. It's crazy. Oh, Jordan, I would not be shocked if that's the case either. I would not be shocked if the Mets play better against us, because in Citi Field we're the Mets bitch, because we don't know how to play in Citi Field. I know I'm starting to panic already, but this loss just really infuriates me. It really just does. You should have won this game. It's crazy. You couldn't even do anything in the bottom of the ninth either. Like, just have some type of fight back. No, who was the guy on the mound for the Nationals in the ninth inning? I think he pitched 2 innings if I'm not. Yeah, he pitched 2 innings for a save. PJ Poulin? How many games has he pitched this year? PJ Poulin. He's pitched 8 innings this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. We're losing to this guy? I understand he's only allowed 2 earned runs all year. Dude. Hit the dude. Hit the guy. What were his numbers down in the minors? What were his numbers down in the minors? What were his numbers for minors? What were his minor league numbers this year? Yeah, 3.38 ERA in the minor league baseball. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Joke. Should not be struggling against the Nationals bullpen. The second worst pitching team in terms of ERA in baseball. Not be struggling against that bullpen. That's the problem. They just continue to struggle again. I want to see, just in the games again, general against the Nationals. I just want to see. I'm just doing it for research. Just doing it for research purposes. I'm not trying to be a jerk off. I'm just doing it for research purposes. Can I just filter the games against the Nationals this year? So obviously, the 4-game series, the Phillies scored what, 6 there. How many was that against the bullpen? I don't think it was much. Their 6-2 win was 2-2. So they scored 4 runs in that game against the bullpen. Scored 4 runs there. Then obviously they scored a bunch of runs in that Sunday game. And that was mainly bullpen. Well, half of that was against the starting pitcher. So scored 11 runs. They scored 6 runs there. Okay, 5 runs. Were there. The other series of Washington early in the year. Those were the games they actually scored against the bullpen. Those were the games in the first and the second game of the season where actually they waited until the bullpen got into the game where they scored against them. Washington again. I would assume they scored against the bullpen in these ones. Bullpen. Yeah, 4 runs there. 7-2. I don't know who was on the mound there. All against Irvin. 1 run there. Sanchez. Sanchez in the bullpen shut it down. I'm not trying to be a jerk off here, but just annoying. Just annoying. Just annoying. It really just is. Like, seriously, like, better not fucking lose this series. JT's even saying post game that he should have eaten that one, so at least he's taking accountability. But Jesus, like if you think bad, just eat it. Just don't throw it, man. It's annoying, really annoying. That's that's what this team is, Jordan. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. As much as I was excited about what they did against Seattle, and I'm not trying to take away anything they did against Seattle because that was fantastic. It was great. This is what this team does: extreme highs, extreme lows with their offense. That's what this offense is. That's why everyone's doesn't trust them. Extreme highs and extreme lows. They had hit 8 hits tonight. Stott and Castellanos had 5 of them. The other 3 hits came from Harper, JT, and Bohm. Schwarber went over. Trey went over, even though he had an RBI, still over. Marsh went over. Kepler over. Bader in the 1 pinch hit opportunity over. Just it's just for some reason they just did not see Cavalli well. And these 2 times I don't know how to explain it. For some reason they just don't see this guy. For some reason I don't know why. What other teams? He allowed 4 runs to the freaking to the Royals. The Royals were able to hit him a little bit. For some reason, the Phillies, even though they scored 3 runs off him today, Bryson Stott, thank God. But it's just annoying. Yeah, they can't hit bad pitching for some reason. They cannot hit bad pitching. And like I'm not trying to sound the fucking panic alarms after this loss. This is an annoying loss. But it's like it goes back to the fact that this team can't keep it up for long stretches. That's the annoying thing. Like if they just showed it, like Perez, like there's a lot of hitters in this lineup that are going very good this month. Like Stott has been awesome since the All-Star break. JT has been awesome for basically since June. Turner in this last stretch has been very good. He had a very bad night tonight, but for the most part, the past couple of series, he's been very good. Schwarber is still Schwarber. Bryce has been showing. I think Bryce lately has just been fucking too aggressive, which is he's trying to do too much at the plate. Castellanos, this is basically the first sign of late we've seen from him lately. I know he had a home run against Washington, I believe, in the series in DC, but basically for him, it's been, sometimes Kepler did shit when his number was called. Marsh, his bat has cooled off a little bit, but he has been good since coming back from the IL back in May or something like that. Like it's just need more. And I hate saying that I need more because a lot of guys have been doing a lot of things. It's just it's annoying because it's this caliber of team. That's what makes it more annoying. It's to this caliber of team at Washington with their caliber of pitching. How do you go from spanking the Seattle Mariners, who is supposed to have very good pitching, and they do have very good pitching, to a team like Washington, who has the 2nd worst pitching ERA-wise in Major League Baseball? That doesn't make sense. But you know why? This Phillies team doesn't make sense, and that's probably the perfect description. The Phillies just don't make sense. They don't make sense. They do things that just don't make sense. Because where do the Mariners rank in terms of ERA? They actually ranked 14th, so they're middle of the pack. They're middle of the pack, which is very shocking. I thought they were very good, but apparently they're middle of the pack. But still, point stands, Nationals are the 2nd worst. I wouldn't go that far, Austin. I wouldn't go that far with the pitching next year. I know why we've been talking about next year. Why we've been talking about 27, 28. Why we've been talking about that. I don't care about 2 years down the road. I don't care about 3 years down the road. I care about this year. I care about this year. Granted, still my expectations are low. there is a non-zero chance that the only reliable starting pitchers that we have next year are Sanchez and this reflection. That's not true. That is not true. This is the only sign that Zach Wheeler's ever got injured in his time with the Phillies. And it's a blood clot issue, so it's something that's completely out of his control. This is the first year that Aaron Nola has struggled and has also been injured, so you could throw all of that into the books. I do expect Nola to bounce back next year because Aaron Nola is just too good to be this. Like, Aaron Nola's not 7 ERA bad. Like, let's be Aaron Nola is not 7 ERA bad. He just isn't. Ranger probably won't be back here next year because he is a free agent, so you will have to figure out what to do there. I don't know if Walker's going to be back next year. He is, I believe, next year's the last year of his contract, so maybe they trade him. Maybe with the way that he has pitched this year, maybe that deems the contract more tradable or something like that. I'm sure they'll probably add to the rotation or something. I'm sure maybe they'll go out and sign another free agent because there will be some rotation. Like Luzardo, he's a coin flip. You're either getting very good Luzardo or very bad Luzardo. A Luzardo that's very good, he goes 6-7 strong innings with at least 8 strikeouts and 2 earned runs or less. Or Luzardo that can only go 4 or 5 innings and he's allowing at least 5 earned runs. Well, as much of a negative person I've been this year, I don't like that type of thinking. I'm only expecting the worst. Like, I'm just expecting the worst over the next few years so I can't be let down. I mean, I don't think that's a good way to think. Even I've been negative this year, but I don't think like that. Jeez. Like, I don't want this one loss to drive me back down the wild well of going like, but it's hard not to because even though, like I said, I wasn't fully buying in after the Seattle series, I just wasn't. But if it's just like they show you a sign of hope that, okay, are they finding something after this whole Zach Wheeler situation? Are they galvanizing themselves and coming together? And then it's just like you lose like this, which is very annoying. It's gut-wrenching. So annoying. That is the only thing that bothers me. Well, more things bother me. I just wish the offense didn't struggle tonight against... I just wish for some reason the offense doesn't struggle against the Nationals pitching. I don't know why it does. It doesn't make sense. The Nationals are the most fucking annoying team that I've ever seen in my life. Like I said, they're the new Miami Marlins at this rate. They are. And at least I'm not one of those people that said the division's already wrapped up, even though the Mets are still bad. Anything could fucking happen over the course of the next month and a half. That's why these series against the Mets are so fucking huge. That's why you needed to win this series in Citi Field. And then you have a 4-game series in Philadelphia in September. You gotta win those series. You just need to. And I still don't fully trust this team. That's my problem. I don't fully trust them. And that's always going to be in the back of my mind. I don't fully trust them. For as much as I know what they can be at their peak offensively. It's just I don't see it enough. For as great as it was against Seattle. You had the feeling in the back of their mind, oh, they're so great against Seattle. Watch them shit the bed against the Nationals. Because that's what this Phillies team does. That's what they've shown us. Even though in past years, they've taken care of they would always beat the bad teams. You would always guarantee that they would go out there and beat up on a bad team. For some reason, this year, it's not the case. They don't beat the bad teams consistently. They've been beating good teams more than they've been beating bad teams. And granted, then this team's still fucking 20 games over 500 and we're talking like this. Like I said, this team doesn't make fucking sense. And that's the annoying part. So I don't know. But you better win. Like, I need Aaron Nola to pitch well tomorrow. If Aaron Nola's not good from the get-go, you're not winning. You're just not winning. You're just not. That's what frustrates me. That's what frustrates me. Man. I don't even know what to do. Like, you had that game, man. You had your closer. And it just, like, he's human. He is human. That's the annoying thing. It just really shows you how special Brad Lidge's 2008 was. Because no one's ever going to replicate that. They just aren't. No one's ever replicating that. It's crazy. We did just get a last-minute voicemail here from Zach, so we might as well get to that. So let's see what he's got to say.
What's up, Amadeo? Leaving one last minute here. Hope I'm not too late.
You're not.
Although you're about 35 minutes in the stream. So this is a frustrating one. Didn't start well. Taiwan Walker got into some trouble. He did fight out of it. That was good to see. Positive-wise, Nick Castellanos was swinging a better bat today. Bryson Stott has turned it on as of late. I guess, tough from the bullpen. Not really blaming it on Duran. So he did give up back-to-back hits to get the game tied. Most of it has to fall on JT, who did hit a wonderful no-doubter to give the Phillies a lead. But he throws that one to third base, just an errant throw. I mean, Alec Bohm had no chance of catching it with a 10-foot pole or whatever they say. So, all right, well, we'll get back at it. These damn Nationals, man. Looks like another split, unfortunately. Please win these next three. And damn Mets won tonight, so their game on what it is. Come on, Phils, heads down. Don't let this one get, fuck you up too much. We got to keep it rolling. We'll see. Peace.
I mean, I hope they do, Zach. I mean, they have to win the next two games. They have to. It can't be one of these things where you lose this series to Washington, then you end up winning the series against the Mets. It can't be that. You need to win these two series, man. You just can't lose a series, win a series, because then that's 3-3 in these two series. That's just not acceptable in my opinion. Because what is it? It's this series, it's the Mets, then it's a 4-game series against the Braves, if I'm not mistaken, before you play Milwaukee in that first weekend of September. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the case. It's just so annoying. So annoying. And I know the Mets will eventually the Mets will Met, because that's what they do. The Mets Met. And granted, yes, they're beating up on the Braves tonight, but I can definitely guarantee you they don't sweep the Braves. They probably win it. They probably lose one of those at least. What's their pitching matchups for this series? Who even pitched today for the Mets? Was it Peterson or something like that? It was McLean. No, it was Went. No, Joe. No, it was McLean. It was McLean, that rookie that they just called up. And then tomorrow's Clay Holmes against Kyle Quantrill. So, yeah, the pitching matchups definitely aren't in the Braves' favor, because the pitching matchups for the Braves suck. And then it's Elder against Peterson. But I definitely do guarantee you the Mets probably find a way to screw up one of these games, because it's the Mets. They also play Miami after this series, it looks. No, this is I'm looking at the Braves schedule. What am I doing? Yeah, the Mets. Let me look at their schedule just to see where things are at, because for some reason the Braves thing was confusing me. Yeah, Braves. The Mets do have a tough schedule. Don't get me wrong, the Mets have a tough schedule. Besides teams like Miami will be a tough series because it's Miami the way they're playing this year. They play the Phillies, they play Miami, they play Detroit, they play Cincinnati, Philadelphia again, Texas, San Diego. And they lost the series to Washington, so you can't even call Washington an easy series. Then their schedule the rest of the season is very tough. It is. Just with the way that the Mets are unpredictable. It's Phillies, Miami, Detroit, Cincinnati, Phillies, Texas, Padres, Nats, Cubs, Marlins. And also the second to last series of the year is against Chicago, and the Cubs will probably be fighting for a playoff spot. So that'll be a very important. It's just can't guarantee shit for the Mets either. The Mets are only 7 games above 500, which is crazy to even say. Considering where it was a few weeks ago. We're 20 games above 500. They're only 7. That is crazy. But we're only 6.5 games back of the Phillies. So, yes, more times than not, the Phillies have been taking. It's just the fact that the Phillies can't go on long stretches. That's what annoys me. They can't go on long stretches. Their longest winning streak, I believe, of the season is 9. That is their longest, and that's a long winning streak. That's a good winning streak. That's the only time they've done that this year. Besides that, with winning streaks, and I know I'm just rambling at this rate, but it's just besides the 9-game winning streak that they had when they swept Pittsburgh, They swept the Rockies on the road, and then they won those 2 of 3 against the Athletics. It was, I think, their longest winning streak of the year. Besides that was 4, and they just can't go more than 4 games winning. It's just crazy. I don't know why they can't. So like to start the season, they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their first 5. Then they had a 4-game winning streak right there. That's 6 of 7. 6 of 7. 9 of 10 right in this stretch against the Cubs, the Nationals, the Diamondbacks, the Rays, and all of that stuff. Yeah, then they won. Then they won the 9 games in a row against the Pittsburgh Rockies and the Athletics. But then basically since then, their longest winning streak is 5 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against Toronto. When they won a series at home against Chicago, the final game of that series, then they swept Toronto, which is still crazy to say because Toronto has been fucking amazing since then. And then they won the first game against Miami, which included a 3 of 4 against Miami. So their longest winning streak since the 9-game winning streak was 5 games, and they haven't won 5 games in a row since. The longest stretch it's been 4, where they swept Texas and won the first game in Cincinnati, and then sweeping Seattle in the final game and against Washington on the road. They for some reason just cannot win more than 4 or 5 games in a row. For some reason, it doesn't make sense. Like they just refuse to go on big long stretches recently of just winning. Whether it's winning 5, 6 in a row, going on a stretch where you're winning 7 of 9, 7 of 8, or even 9 of 10, 10 of 12, or something like that. I'm not asking you to go on Brewers stretches. I'm not asking you to do that because that's even unsustainable in itself. And the Brewers probably will even come back down to earth. But I'm just asking you, like, sweep 2 series in a row. Is that hard to ask? Sweep 2 series in a row. You get off of a very good series against Seattle where you pound their asses every single game, basically. And then you come up against the Washington Nationals team that sucks. Sweep them. Why can't I ask for 2 sweeps in a row? Is that too much to ask for? No, they have not put 2 sweeps together in a row this year at all, besides that 9-game winning streak. No, they have not. They have not. They have not. They've only swept 2 series in a row once this entire year, and that was that 9-game winning streak. And granted, that was a 4-game series in there with the Rockies. So they haven't swept 2 series in a row since that winning streak. It's crazy to even think about that. What do you mean talking tough, Keith? What do you mean by talking tough? Somehow the Braves made that even the score relatively close, even though it's only 12-5. See, like that's also the thing right there. Like the Mets, they're winning 12-2, but they're still allowing the Braves to score runs. Granted, it's only 12-5. I'm not like the Mets will find a way to lose a game in this series. Like I'll guarantee you that the Mets will find a way to lose a game in that series to Atlanta. I could even predict. I could even say that they lose that series because they pounded the Nationals in the first game of that series they played against them. They lost the next 2. So I'm not predicting anything else there. Someone was trying to call my phone. Yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Yeah. So I think that's the perfect time to end it. As like I said, someone was trying to call my phone. If you guys didn't hear the Seth Rollins theme. So yeah. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Will there be a stream tomorrow? Depends on what everything's going. I do have a fantasy draft tomorrow. I do have a What time is the Phillies game tomorrow? What time is their game tomorrow? 6 o'clock. Probably. Yeah, I'll probably in the middle of the fantasy draft. Probably will see a recap tomorrow at some point. It'll probably just be after the fantasy draft at 8 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll see. So appreciate you all for tuning in as always. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to use the code TTPSports. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal.